So first card you get, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Now normally when I see this, I think working too hard and not being fruitful. I thought, well, wait a second. The card right next to it, Ace of Swords in reverse, can indicate working hard and being fruitful. So I think you're indecisive about something. You're indecisive about, you're going to be working hard on something. And since this is love, it's going to be about working hard about for a love interest or in a relationship or a potential relationship. On one hand, you think it won't be fruitful. And the other hand, it could be. Okay? Maybe this is what you're thinking since this is the man or the human. And this is what the universe is saying because it's like a hand stretched out from the gods. Okay? So you may think it's not going to be fruitful. And here the universe is saying it will be. With this Eight of Pentacles right next to the Ace of Swords, this says like something is your destiny. Like Ace of Swords is fate, okay? You may think something's not your fate, but it is, okay? And it says you have to work on your fate until it happens. Like you're going to keep working on it until a miracle happens, okay? Or maybe that's what you're afraid of. Like, man, I'm going to have to work really hard for this to be a miracle, for a miracle to happen. But, it just says hard work creates miracles. Okay. So I guess that's a little bit of hope for you. But with this Eight of Pentacles, I was drawn all the way over here to Eight of Wands. They're both in reverse. It may not really matter if they're in reverse or not, but just the 8 and the 8. Put it together, 16, and then 6 plus 1 is 7. And I always see 7s as completions, at least in biblical terms. And then 7 can also mean reflecting, assessing your motives, getting things in order, maybe even investigating or making discoveries. And just also the ultimate truth. Just taking a period of introspection and solitude. And this is you're not really going to understand anything unless you go through it. So you have to use experience to understand things. Now, if you've met this person before, I wouldn't rely on past experience, okay? I would go forward, and I'll tell you about that with some of the other cards you have. But just looking at the 8 and 8 as the number 8 rather than 16 turning into 7, 8 talks about action and change, something being reborn, movement, attainment, something being accomplished. Also, invisible progress. Okay. Or changing of minds, possibly, like infinite possibilities. Because when I think of the 8, I think of the Strength card and the Magician, where they have the infinity symbol on top of their head, and it represents infinite possibilities, but also looks like the number 8. But they're both in reverse, so it could be you don't think that's possible. You don't think there's infinite possibilities with this love interest. And you're being a little stagnant. And we do have the Hanged Man too. And we have a lot of reverse cards, so I say there's a lot of stagnation and indecision. Somebody's not taking action, or you're not changing your mind. Because King of Swords here, like it's almost like final, like I am not changing my mind. Or you just don't see a change happening with this person. But remember, don't go on past experience, okay? You just don't think something's attainable. You don't think you can accomplish it. But this says you have to work hard for a miracle. And then you could accomplish it, but you just don't see it right now. And you just don't see the infinite possibilities. So you're not seeing a lot. But remember, the Hanged Man says you need to get some perspective. Okay, and I think you're kind of waiting around to see if what you think is true. Because Scorpios really like to make the right decision. They like to think about things methodically. Probably represented by the King of Swords. Because, all these cards are you except for one that you can't see yet. We even got your card, which this is always Scorpio to me. So it's in reverse, so you're not feeling like yourself. And we can talk about more about that in a minute. Basically, you're not sure if you're right. I can't believe a Scorpio would never just think they're right. But then again, you're not changing your mind so far, so I would work on that. You guys are going to kill me, aren't you? Okay, so just talking about like the 7 and the 8, okay? We don't have any 7s in here, but just numerologically, 8 and 8 can be divided into that. So 8 will be a significant number as well as 7. When I see Ace of Swords in reverse, I see you are not completely sure of your feelings. Again, you're indecisive, like with the Hangman, and with all these reverse cards. You may be afraid of being exploited, but mostly you're just confused. And you don't have high hopes for this relationship. Here we have high hopes for a relationship, and not here. Like, you think there's going to be a lot of lying and deceit. Like, this is justice and truth. And here, like, you're not even interested in justice or truth, which sounds kind of strange. Maybe you're not interested in their idea of justice and truth. But here it talks about endings. Okay, but it could also be beginnings, because aces mean beginnings. But some people would think this is an end, like an end and then a beginning. Well, here we have a beginning and an end again. So I guess it doesn't matter which way you look at it. So there's some kind of a cycle going on. Again, represented by 8s too. I can see there's a cycle going on here. And you may feel like it's going to be a defeat, or if you do have to work hard for it, it may be forced. Like, you're really going to have to work for this, okay? Or your love interest is forcing you to be with them or make a decision. You're just stressed. And you got a lot on your plate seen by some of this work stuff, okay? I mean, it could be you're not infatuated with them. But I mean, if you weren't infatuated with them, they wouldn't be your love interest. Here it says time to move on. Here, not time to move on. Okay, so don't move on yet. And again, in reverse, this says you're waiting to hear from somebody. Or somebody's waiting to hear from you. So if I think about the last Scorpio reading, which turned into a love reading, somebody's waiting to hear from somebody else. And let's cut out all the torture and the waiting and go with our hearts, okay? Because love is all about the heart. Here you see things clearly. Not seeing things clearly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here is the right decision. Here you think you're going to make the wrong decision. Or you don't want to make the wrong decision. And here also, when you do communicate, you want to use your words carefully. Not that I'm telling you to use your words carefully, but you want that. You want to use your words carefully because you're afraid they may use them against you. I don't see that happening, but you're scared of that. Basically, there's a whole lot of misinformation going on. And there's a failure to communicate. And you think that this person, this is either you, or you think your love interest, one of you, thinks or does create conflict out of nothing. So either you create conflict out of nothing, or you think they're creating conflict out of nothing, and you're scared of that. So you want to use your words carefully, like, oh man, they're going to twist my words again. You just don't have high hopes. You're very pessimistic about this, possibly depressed. But it says, there's not going to be an upcoming disaster. Here, we have an upcoming disaster. Here, no upcoming disaster. And that's the truth, okay? That's the reality here. But as far as your thoughts, we see a disaster that can be prevented. And here, you see there's a disaster coming and you can't prevent it. That's not the truth. It's just there is no disaster at all, okay? Coming to the Hanged Man. He's upright. Okay. This is somebody who just less is more. Whatever you do, just do less. You may be waiting for like a better option or maybe a better time. Okay. Like you're just gonna have to let go of control. And with this card, it says, just let go of control and let the universe decide. Okay. I know that sounds scary because Scorpios like to control everything. But you're so indecisive, you're just gonna have to let the universe decide. I don't know what that means, what you should be looking for. Maybe we can get that in a clarifier somewhere. But you know how I told you about invisible progress with the number 8? Well, here, if you think about the Hanged Man, he's hiding his hands, isn't he? So you can't see him getting out of his binds with his hands. So it's as if there is invisible progress, like there's a concealing. He's making progress on getting out of his bonds. So eventually you're going to get out of this situation that's binding you. And I think it's mostly just your negative thoughts. I really don't see a bad person here. I see you thinking somebody's bad. But yet they're your love interest. This is crazy. I mean, I know things can be complicated, but Scorpio, you've just really got to lighten up, okay? But yeah, there's invisible progress. But it could also be considered invisible manipulation. So with invisible manipulation, it would have to be like a water sign. So either you or your love interest is a water sign. And either there is manipulation going on that's not on the surface, or you think there's manipulation going on below the surface. And also, this gives you more advice besides letting the universe decide. It says whatever course that you're thinking about, which to me looks negative, whatever course you're on, it says change course. Do the opposite. Okay? And if you just cannot do that, let the universe decide. Give up your control. Because you may need to learn from your mistakes and make some kind of a sacrifice. Yeah, you're just waiting for the right time, and so you're kind of stuck. You're buying time, waiting for better time. And you're also reflecting. You're trying to plan carefully so you make the right decision. All right, 2 cards in the middle are definitely you. It's like 2 opposite sides of your personality. And I can see this for Scorpios. Here we have the very logical side, okay? Then we have here, this is your card. That's in reverse. So this will be like the emotional side. This is like master of emotions, master of thoughts, and logic. And I don't know if the situation has you unbalanced, but you are not the master of your emotions. You're a little unbalanced when it comes to your emotions. And I think because you really feel for this person. And you're just like, oh, it was so horrible last time. I don't want to do that again. I would never do that again. Why am I thinking about it? Why am I even considering it? But see, also when he's in reverse, it says not weighing the pros and cons. Also, one or both of you. Oh, okay. Either you betrayed somebody or you think somebody betrayed you. You got this in your last reading. You had this in reverse too. And you think this relationship issue is not going to be solved easily. Why bother? And the reason why you're going to bother is because you have real feelings for this person. Your feelings aren't neutral. Okay? In fact, you feel a lot for them. But you're afraid there may be some emotional manipulation going on. And I think you're just not being honest with yourself. And again, just like from your previous reading, how you may have been dishonest with someone, like a rogue, and you caused injustice to come upon your love interest. It was a big scandal. And so you're running from yourself. You're very depressed and seeking escape through addiction. And You're just in a state of denial about what you really feel and what you really want and what's really motivating you. That's probably why we have a lot of reversals. That's what you're thinking, but it's denial of everything. Like denial it's going to work, denial that we're going to triumph, denial that it's going to be good news about quick love, falling in love with somebody, and then denial about giving an offer of love. You're just denying everything. Like, nope, no, nope. And that's why you're stubborn. You're so stubborn. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. But yeah, this says you're repressing emotions. You're over emotional, but you're repressing it. You're not letting it show. And that's very Scorpio-like. But yeah, you're just running away from yourself because you may see that you were the betrayer. And last time you had the King of Wands in your reading, which meant that you were noble in admitting it. But here, I don't think you're admitting it to yourself. Okay. But with King of Swords, I see logic. So half of you is logical, half of you is really emotional about this. And since they're both kings, I see them playing off each other. So let me think about it. Okay. Yeah. When you have any kind of a sword card next to the King of Cups, it says you're threatened by one-on-one communication with this person. So if they gave you a love offer or you want to offer them love, it scares you. You're threatened by it. And also that comes with the Eight of Wands, because here it's like bad communication, miscommunication. And also Ace of Swords is miscommunication, okay? So I can see why you would think that. Maybe you had miscommunications in the past, and you're also afraid, somebody's going to twist your words. So you're trying to use your words very, very carefully. But you're also not seeing things clearly. And, somebody's waiting to hear from you. That's what somebody else is waiting to hear from you. And you're scared of having a one-on-one conversation with them, whether it's face-to-face or through messages, social media, whatever. You're scared, so you're not responding. Or you're not initiating something with them as far as communication goes. Yeah, because with this Eight of Wands, like you're very slow to communicate because you think there's going to be a fight, a dispute. You think they're going to be looking for a truth and justice. Like they want not their revenge, but like almost like an activist. Like they're going to throw all this spiel at you, and you already kind of feel bad about yourself. And you're going to have to like really use your head not to get overwhelmed. But the thing is, you're not really using, like part of you knows, yes, this is my fate, this is my destiny. The other is like, ooh, no. So you're really of two minds here. And I can tell you which one's the one that you don't need. But anything that's in reverse usually is the thing that is being misrepresented because you're not seeing clearly. Represented by the Ace of Swords. Yeah, okay. I was bringing up arguing. When you have the Hanged Man and the King of Swords next to each other, when you have them in a reading together, they're significant, but you have them next to each other. I mean, these cards don't lie, you guys. All right, so they're next to each other. And when they're next to each other, it says that you think there's going to be this huge argument. And so you need to be passive and not do something. Okay. Like you think somebody's going to like cut you down to size, and so you're just going to be passive about it. And I don't see that at all. I see them actually the exact opposite. And I'll tell you why later. You gotta wait. Keep watching though. I don't care if you click off the video or not. I'm just giving the message out, okay? Alright. Go into Eight of Wands, not Ace. Eight of Wands. You think there's going to be bad fortune. And so you're not making a move. Yeah, this is not making a move because this is movement and quickly and falling in love and messages of love. You are not giving a message of love. You are not making a move because you think it's going to be bad. There's going to be arguments and fighting. You think it's going to be bad news. Like you're like, I'm not falling in love with this person. But this says you're moving in the wrong direction because they're supposed to go this way into the future. But you're thinking about the past because they're going into the past. So you think, oh, yep, in the past it was bad news, so it's going to be bad news. And that's not true. Because remember, it's in reverse, so it's the opposite. You're moving in the wrong direction, not the right direction. But it does say, because this is rushing like really quick, even though it's in reverse and it's talking about being slow to do something or not doing something at all, being inactive, just kind of like the Hanged Man. Actually, almost all your cards are inactive. It talks about you may feel like if you rushed through, you wouldn't be able, if you rushed in, you wouldn't be able to follow through. Or if you did this, you wouldn't get the result you wanted. There would be no follow through that you could be happy with. But remember, hard work will bring about miracles and success. And the Hanged Man said, change course and let the universe decide. Because you just can't. You're too emotional and also probably too logical. You're too logical and too emotional to make this decision. I love this, guys. This is fun. Also, you're scared about the one-on-one confrontation or conversation that you think is going to be a confrontation. Because this talks about it's unpredictable. Here, this is predictable. It's going to happen. Here, you can't predict what's going to happen. And because you're in reverse, like you're not very intuitive right now, you're not very psychic. So you really cannot predict what's going to happen. So if you're not seeing clearly, you're not intuiting right now, why are you going with your intuition? Why are you going with your gut? Don't do that. And actually, I think your gut is probably telling you the opposite of what you're thinking. But, who am I? Also, with the Eight of Pentacles and Eight of Wands, thinking about cycles, you think this is going to happen over and over again? Or you're afraid the same thing's going to happen over and over again. Like, man, we did this once, it's going to happen again. Like, you think the cycle's going to repeat itself. With the Hanged Man and Ace of Swords, we have, an ending, but a new beginning. Okay, so new beginning, that's what's important. But you gotta make that decision. You gotta turn these cards around. Yeah, you want to turn this guy around because he's too much thinking. This guy, you want to turn him around so you can be emotionally balanced. Turn him around so you can fall in love quickly without any kind of disputes and have good news. And I'll tell you about him later. You want to work hard and achieve something with them. You want to have a real triumph, not a forced triumph. And then Hanged Man, that's the one we're trying to turn around. Or we're not trying to turn around. Except, to make a decision. But either way, Hanged Man doesn't really make a decision right away.